Hello students, in the previous classes we have discussed about flowers and this is the last topic of the chapter which is the pollination and fertilization in flower. The floral details you all know, the flower structures of the flower, male and reproductive parts, then the protective coverings, then pollination and in previous class you have studied about the pollinating agents also. Pollinating agents and the characteristics of flower for pollination process. Today we will discuss about the topic which is the fertilization and the events involved in the process of fertilization, which is the major topic because all these structures were a part or the path for the process of fertilization. Fertilization after fertilization process, fruit formation takes place, which is fruit and seed is a stage which is intermediate between two generations. So that stage, seed stage, seed again forms a new plant. So this is that a new generation develops from seed. After the process of fertilization, that the events of fruit and seed formation takes place. So this is the last topic of the chapter. Today we will discuss about the pollen grains, then the ovule, then the germination of pollen grains. So what are the steps involved in the process of germination? Then after this, the last topic is fate of floral parts after fertilization. So let's start with the pollen grains. Pollen grains are the structures which is round or oval, and it is having two layers. The outer tough covering which is the termed as exine, and the inner covering which is the intine. Outer covering, then here two nucleus. One is the generative nucleus. The other one is vegetative or tube nucleus. Here you can see that some gaps are present in the intine as well as in the exine region. From these gaps, when the pollen grains fall on the stigma with the moisture or the moist content, which is the water, sugar and all, the pollen grains swell up from the intine, and the exine burst, and from the intine the pollen tube germinates like this, having the two nucleus which is the generative and the vegetative nucleus. In the pollen grains are shed at two celled or three cell stages. If it is shed at two cell stage, then in between the process when the pollen tube germinates, one of the cell divides to form a three cell stage. Next process is the ovule. The structure you can see here, and ovule, the structure, this one is the structure of ovule. Inside the ovary, this is ovary, and this one is stigma, style. Whenever you are making a diagram, the labeling must be on the right hand side with equidistant from the diagram. Since I am not having much space for this, that's why I am labeling on both the directions, but mostly you try to label in one direction, which is the right one, all the diagrams at equidistant from the diagram. Here, then ovary, inside the ovary, ovule is present. Then covering to the ovule is the nucellus. Then in this ovule or the ovule, it contains three antipodal cells. All these structures we have already discussed. So today we'll discuss about the structure of ovule. Antipodal cells, at the center there are two polar nuclei. Polar nuclei. Then at the bottom there are two synergid cells. And at the center one egg cell. Now this is the pollen tube. Pollen tube. This is pollen grain. Pollen grain, pollen tube. These are the parts of male reproductive system. In female, ovary. Inside the ovary, the ovule. Then ovule, the antipodal cell, polar nuclei, egg cell, and synergid. After this, the germination of pollen grain. Germination process. When the pollen grains fall on the stigma with the watery substance or the liquid, the fluid present in the stigma, the pollen grains start germinating and the pollen tubes start developing in this one. But the chemoreceptors, they allow only one pollen tube to enter the ovule or to fertilize the ovule, and this pollen tube through the micropylar end. This end is the micropylar end or micropyle. Through the micropylar end, the pollen tube enters and fuses with the egg cell. One of the nuclei fuses with the polar nuclei. So there is two fusion. One first nucleus of the pollen tube, pollen grain, fuses with the egg cell. The second nucleus of the pollen grain fuses with the polar nuclei. Two polar nuclei. In this case, two polar nuclei plus one generative cell or the vegetative cell. This one vegetative cell. Here there are total 3 nuclei, and that's why the name is given triple fusion to it. Triple fusion. Two polar nuclei and one the nucleus of the pollen tube. Then in this case, now the process is also termed as double fertilization. Double fertilization, one fertilization, first fertilization event. This is the second one. Since it involves two stages of fertilization, one with the egg cell, one with the two polar nuclei. So these two fertilization events make it a double fertilization, or it is called a double fertilization process. Fertilization process. Then next is the fate of floral parts. Fate of floral parts. Let me write this one. The pollen grains and all. The corolla, and then the stigma or the style, then the anthers, filament, all these parts, they wither off or fall off. Then next is the calyx. In some cases, calyx may persist as in the dried form, as in case of the calyx can be seen in guava and apple as a dried structure. In case of brinjal, calyx is persistent even in the mature fruit. In case of brinjal, so calyx may persist or fall off. May persist or fall off. Next is the ovary or the ovule. Ovary forms the fruit. Ovary forms fruit. Ovule forms seed. So these are the fate of fruit. Ovarian wall forms the fruit wall, which may be dry or thin walled, depending upon the flower, depending upon the type of fertilization or the fruit formation. So ovary forms the fruit, ovule forms the seed. This is all about the process of fertilization and the post-fertilization events. In this chapter, we have studied about the structures which initiate the process of fertilization, then the process involved, which is pollination, transference, agent required, fertilization. After this, the next chapter is seed, and which is formed by the ovule. So thank you for today's class.